A chef is taking Filipino cuisine not just to the next level, but also to the kitchen of Oslo, Norway. And to tell us more, joining us this morning is none other than the head chef of Kain Oslo in Norway, Dominic Vergara.
Good morning.
Chef, good morning. Good morning. Magandang umaga. Nilahat ko na because you are, you're a global talent, really taking Filipino cuisine to the world stage. Let's start at the beginning of all of this. Neo-Filipino cuisine. How do we define that? What are we, what are we talking about when we say Neo-Filipino cuisine? And how did you take it and really sort of introduce our flavors to the rest of the world?
So basically, we are like doing authentic flavors, but using modern techniques.
Okay. When you say modern techniques, what are we talking about here? Sort of gastronomy style cuisine?
Yeah, things that I've learned working in Michelin-starred restaurants, so like cooking sous vide, stuff like that. Okay. And yeah.
Definitely modern techniques, but like you said, sort of Filipino flavors, we certainly have a palate that is, unique, and I think we like much tastier sort of food compared to our Western counterparts. And I think their minds are usually blown when it comes to the kinds of flavors and flavor profiles that we introduce. What's it like to combine modern culinary techniques with, like I said, traditional sensibilities as far as our flavor profile, and really, I think, first and foremost, the produce available, the quality of produce available when you are, in the West, it must be a fantastic combination.
Yeah, of course, definitely. So, it's nice because so basically what we do in the restaurant is we're using Norwegian seafoods or Norwegian produce.
Yeah.
And then we are combining it with the flavors, Filipino flavors.
Right. Okay. Why make Kain the centerpiece? I mean, it's fairly obvious to us Filipinos, but I'm sure it must be quite an interesting, eyebrow raiser in Oslo to see Kain Oslo, these two elements sort of combined. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So we call the restaurant Kain because, like, usually us Filipino, instead of asking, "Oh, kumusta ka na?" we ask people, "Kumain ka na ba?" And kumain ka na ba, di ba? And then we are using it like to apologize to a woman para manligaw.
Yes, that's
Ginagamit
true.
natin para mag-thank you or to ask a favor.
Right.
So
it encompasses so many different things, but it really is a very Filipino value in that sense. Now, you took Filipino cuisine to Oslo, Norway through Kain Oslo, as we said. What inspired you to do that? I mean, Filipino cuisine, obviously, we've always wanted to champion Filipino cuisine, but it's a tough market out there, but you seem to have found the keys to success in Oslo, at least.
Yeah, so we wanted to bring diversity in Oslo. So a lot of Vietnamese restaurant, Thai restaurant, but we didn't have any Filipino restaurant.
Right. Generally, when you say Asian cuisine, the knee-jerk reaction is more of your Chinese, more of your Vietnamese, like you said. But we really want to sort of bring our flavors to the forefront here. How difficult was it to break into the scene? I mean, you told me that you started with more of a kiosk or a food stall, and it sort of grew and blossomed from there into a full-blown restaurant. What was that journey like, and what was the reception like when you brought Filipino food via a smaller operation and grew it?
Like, at first, it was hard, of course, but you need to take the first step. You do the first step, and you're doing something good, everything will fall into place.
Well, obviously, you were doing something right, because to grow from a small operation like a food stall into a full-blown restaurant, obviously, you did a great job of introducing Filipino cuisine. What was the reaction? I mean, are we talking about a restaurant which caters to Filipinos looking for a taste of home, looking for home cooking, certainly much more elevated cooking of Filipino classics, but does it appeal to the Norwegians? What do they say?
They're very happy with it.
Yeah.
A lot of people say wow, because for now we have around 85% of our clients are non-Filipino.
Really? Wow.
I mean, which is good.
Yeah.
Because the thing that we do, we want to share a Filipino culture through food. So I think we're on the right path.
Okay, what is the best seller in terms of what we have to offer? Filipino classics, ano yung mga tinatangkilik nila?
So adobo for sure.
Yeah.
And now we have the bistec Tagalog, but we made it in a different way.
Okay.
So we're using a butcher steak. Diba usually bistec is stew with a lot of onions?
Yes, yes.
So what we did is we made a steak and we made different textures of onions. So you have caramelized onions, crispy onions, charred onions, raw
Man, I'm
onions.
starting to get really hungry here, Chef. What's on your bucket list? What else do you want to experiment with? I mean, like you said, Norwegian seafood. Obviously, there's salmon coming out of our ears
Yeah,
in Norway.
definitely.
I mean, yung mga sinigang natin, obviously would lend itself well. It's a classic already here, even here,
Yeah, that's
to do your soups and your sinigangs with salmon. So what are some of the highlight produce that really we should be focusing on and that will translate well to some of our recipes?
Scallops,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
They have the best scallops. They have langoustines. So sea urchins,
Yeah.
cod.
Yeah. Wow, my imagination
Trout.
is running wild. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, yeah, some really nice sort of cold water fish with that nice sort of fattiness to it would really lend itself well to many of our great Filipino classics. What do you think? Is there a similarity between Norwegian cuisine and Filipino cuisine? Why do you think Filipino food has been such a hit in Norway?
It's way different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way different.
I know we have a much tastier, like I said, a much tastier palate,
Our palate is more complex.
attuned
than-
to far more tastier seasoning.
Yeah, because Norwegian people loves explore with food. So for them, it's new. Like, oh, there's a new restaurant in Oslo. It's a Filipino restaurant, so people will go there.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, they keep on coming back and bringing more people.
Okay, that's great. It's great to hear. Well, speaking as a Filipino myself, I'm happy to see that there's still, new developments as far as Filipino cuisine. Like I said, I mean, we know our cuisine, we know our flavors, but to see it executed in a much more sort of progressive and modern way is very refreshing, and it's great to see that our Filipino cuisine continues to develop. What's on the horizon for Kain Oslo? What else are we in for?
The main goal is to share Filipino food to other people, to share our culture. And then if we have opportunity to open in different cities and in different country, why not?
Awesome. It sounds fantastic. Chef, you are a fantastic ambassador for Filipino cuisine and Filipino culture.
Thank you
Please
so much.
continue doing what you're doing. Chef, maraming salamat and thank you for joining
Maraming
us this morning.
salamat.